Okay, let's get into this. For so many people, the idea of going to the dentist, is not just an inconvenience. It can be genuinely paralyzing.
It really can.
We're talking about a kind of deep-seated fear that actually stops people from getting care they really need.
Mm-hmm.
And our sources, I mean, everything from patient stories to clinical notes, they all confirm this isn't just, regular nervousness. It's a profound dread.
Right. And the triggers are so specific, aren't they?
Brutally specific.
Yeah.
And they stick with people for decades. A bad experience as a kid, that high-pitched sound of the drill, or just that cold feeling right before the needle.
It's absolutely a systemic problem. And we know that avoiding the dentist it makes the whole cycle of fear and poor health so much worse.
Of course.
What's so interesting about this deep dive, though, is that we're looking past just, acknowledging the fear. We're actually examining a whole philosophy designed to take it apart piece by piece.
So we're looking at a specific model.
We're focusing on a practice called My Gentle Dentist. It's based in Brisbane, specifically at the Brookside Shopping Centre on Osborne Road. We've synthesized their whole approach.
And then our mission here is what, exactly?
Our mission is to pull out the universal, the actionable principles behind their core promise, which is that dental care just does not have to hurt.
So we're basically reverse engineering their success.
That's a great way to put it.
We want to figure out how they built an environment where gentle isn't just a marketing word, but like an actual operational manifesto. We're going to break down two main pillars of their system that you can look for anywhere: radical patient control and the smart use of comfort tech.
Let's do it.
Okay, so to really understand the solution, we have to start where the anxiety starts, which is, I guess, right at the front door.
That's exactly right. The experts we studied, they realized that the psychological barrier, it starts way before the patient's even in the chair.
Before you even see a dentist.
Long before. For someone who is highly anxious, just walking through that front door, crossing the threshold into that clinical space, that is often the hardest, most paralyzing step.
And if they can't get past that?
Then nothing else matters. The whole system fails.
So the foundational response to that challenge is to completely flip the power dynamic. The principle they use is what they call radical patient control. It's a philosophy that means the patient is, they're explicitly in charge of the entire appointment.
And this is where the simple rules become really profound. The mechanism for this control, it's so straightforward, but it's almost revolutionary in a medical setting.
It is.
The patient is told right up front, if you need a break for any reason, you just raise your hand.
Okay, that sounds so simple, but what's the actual the operational consequence of that raised hand?
It stops.
Immediately.
Immediately. The sources are so clear on this. The procedure stops, no questions asked. And the rule has two essential additions. There is to be no rushing and absolutely no judgment. And that last part, the no judgment part, that's the psychological anchor.
Why is that so important?
Because it removes that layer of shame or, feeling inadequate that so many people feel when they have to admit they're scared in a doctor's office.
I do wonder about the practical side of that, though. I mean, if a patient is intensely nervous, couldn't they be raising their hand every 30 seconds?
Right.
Does giving them that much control actually slow everything down and make it impossible to get anything done?
It's a fair question, and you'd think so, but the research actually suggests the opposite happens.
Really?
Yes. When patients know they can stop the procedure at any time, they feel secure. That feeling of control actually lowers the underlying anxiety, which means they need fewer breaks overall.
That's so counterintuitive.
It is. By giving up control, you gain cooperation. You get a smoother and often faster outcome. You're replacing that feeling of panic with predictive certainty.
So you're changing the whole experience from being a passive subject to an active collaborator.
Precisely.
But this commitment to reducing anxiety, it's not just about the procedure itself. It starts the second you walk in the building, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The environmental design is a huge part of this philosophy. I mean, think about a traditional dental office. It's just loaded with anxiety triggers.
Oh, yeah. The lighting, the smell.
The sterile institutional lighting, that sharp medicinal smell. It all just screams procedure, and it kicks your fight or flight response into high gear.
So what did this practice do differently? How do they change the environment?
They systematically work to remove those triggers. The waiting and reception areas are designed to feel calming, more like a modern living room than a clinic.
Okay, so what does that mean in practice?
It means using thoughtful, non-fluorescent lighting, calming color palettes, and this is really important, actively eliminating that powerful clinical smell that instantly spikes anxiety for so many people.
Wow, targeting the scent. That's a fascinating detail.
Isn't it?
It shows that the commitment to being gentle isn't just about what happens in the chair. It's an institutional belief. It proves the philosophy is real right from the moment you arrive.
Exactly.
Okay, so once the environment is set and the rules of control are established, the focus has to shift to the person actually leading the care. Let's talk about the operational engine behind all of this, Dr. Deepti.
Right. Dr. Deepti has built this incredible reputation in Queensland, and it's not just for her clinical skills, which are excellent. It's for what the sources constantly describe as her incredible empathy.
And that empathy is the key.
It's the key differentiator. It's what turns a well-meaning policy on a piece of paper into a successful lived experience for the patient.
And her strategy, it starts not with, picking up a tool, but with a conversation. They call it listen first.
Precisely. Before she even thinks about looking at a patient's teeth, she sits down and talks to them, one-on-one, specifically about their fears.
So it's like an intake process for their anxiety.
It is. It's a deliberate, unhurried, empathetic process. You are diagnosing the anxiety before you ever diagnose the decay.
Why is that step so critical, especially for someone who's really nervous?
Because it directly attacks the most powerful trigger for anxiety, which is the fear of the unknown.
Right. Your mind just fills in the blanks with the worst-case scenario.
It catastrophizes. Exactly. So by having that dialogue, by acknowledging a patient's specific fear, whether it's the noise, the needle, whatever, you basically deflate that monster under the bed before you even turn on the light.
That's a great way to put it.
You're communicating in that moment that the person's comfort is more important than the speed of the procedure.
I love that phrase, prioritizing the person over the procedure.
Yeah.
So after that crucial conversation is done, she moves into a three-part communication technique. And this is something we see working in a lot of high-stress fields, the tell, show, do method.
It's brilliant. It's so simple, but it's just so psychologically effective.
So let's run through how it works. Step 1 is tell.
Right. She explains very clearly and simply exactly what she is going to do next. So she won't just say, I'm going to do a cleaning. She'll say something like, okay, now I'm going to use this fine instrument to gently check the surface of your molar. Very specific.
Then step 2 is show.
Yes. Before any instrument gets near your mouth, she shows it to you. If it's a small ultrasonic scaler, she might, demonstrate the gentle spray of water on your fingertip. This completely demystifies the tools.
It turns them from scary, unknown objects into predictable instruments.
Exactly. And then step 3 is do.
Only them.
Only after the full explanation and the demonstration, when the patient understands and has signaled they're ready, does she actually proceed. The process ensures there are absolutely zero surprises.
Which is the exact opposite of a fear-based experience.
Think about the psychological relief that provides. I mean, if you just suddenly hear a strange whirring noise, your nervous system automatically assumes danger. But if Dr. Deepti just showed you that instrument and said, this makes a little noise, but it's just vibrating water gently, your body's fight or flight response it's massively reduced. That predictive control is huge.
And this all connects directly to the final outcome of her strategy, which is what patients call the gentle touch. You see these testimonials over and over again, people saying she has a noticeably light hand. We even saw accounts where patients claim they didn't even feel the injection.
And that's not just luck. That's a clinical demonstration of what happens when you slow down and prioritize connection. A relaxed patient is just physically easier to treat.
The muscles aren't as tense.
Exactly. When trust is there, muscles are less tense, and the entire physical process, like an injection, can be done more smoothly and precisely. It's the tangible result of pairing skill with genuine, unhurried care.
So that trust building and transparency can be enough for a lot of patients. But there's always a group that needs more, right? They appreciate the control, but they still need what the sources call extra help relaxing.
And that brings us to the third major pillar of their success: targeted comfort technology. For those who can't fully relax just with dialogue and control, the solution they offer is happy gas.
Clinically known as nitrous oxide.
That's the one.
So this is where we shift from purely psychological prep to pharmacological support. But it's done in a way that still respects the patient's control.
It is.
So how does happy gas actually work to create that anxiety-free experience?
Well, this is where the biochemistry gets really interesting. Nitrous oxide is an inhaled sedative, and it acts on your central nervous system to create feelings of of euphoria and deep relaxation.
But it doesn't put you to sleep. That's a key distinction.
Yeah, it is the key distinction. The sources are very clear on this. The patient stays fully awake the whole time. You can still communicate clearly with Dr. Deepti.
So you're relaxed, but you haven't lost control.
Exactly. And for many nervous patients, the fear of losing control is a whole secondary anxiety, so this eliminates that concern.
So what does the patient actually experience?
Well, while they're conscious, they experience this profound change in how they perceive their surroundings. They often report a feeling of floating or maybe giddiness, and crucially, all those external anxiety triggers, the sights, the sounds, the smells, they just sort of fade into the background.
It lets the mind just calm down.
It allows the mind to reach a deep state of calm without losing alertness.
And that brings us to the other huge benefit, which is the recovery, right?
The rapid recovery time. This is what makes it such a perfect tool for this kind of care. Unlike deeper sedation methods, the gas wears off almost immediately once you take the mask off.
How fast is immediately?
You breathe pure oxygen for just a few minutes, and the effects are gone, vanished.
Which means?
Which means the patient can often drive themselves home shortly after the procedure is done. No need for an escort or a long, groggy recovery day.
That rapid reversal is what really makes happy gas, as you called it, the perfect middle ground.
It is. It solves the problem for the patient who is too scared for the chair on its own, but who doesn't want or need the complexity, the cost, or the downtime of full general anesthesia.
It's the technical backup for the philosophical promise.
Perfectly said.
So that synthesis is really the big takeaway here, isn't it? What we found at this Brookside practice is a complete, comprehensive model of care.
Yeah. If you connect all the dots, the successful outcome isn't because of just one thing. It's the result of combining that deep structural empathy,
The hand-raising rule.
giving the patient active control, designing a non-clinical environment, and then using targeted comfort tech like happy gas when needed. The name My Gentle Dentist isn't just a name. It really